Nearly 100 years ago, famed Russian composer Igor Stravinsky introduced one of the most seminal and lasting contributions to the musical world with the debut of his composition of The Rite of Spring, a musical piece so radical and jarring that when it would first debut in the Paris Ballet in 1913 that it literally caused a riot in the theater. Nobody's quite sure what spawned the riot, whether it was a publicity stunt or that the audience was not prepared for what they witnessed. Something chaotic that would build the foundations for music for the next century that would follow, but also something that served as a harbinger for the next decades of chaos and brutality that would follow with World War I, starting up a year later, and with the even greater horrors of World War II yet to come. It was a herald for a chaotic century the likes of which no one had been prepared for, a harbinger of doom in a tumultuous new era, and now, as we enter into the new decade of the roaring 2020s, I wonder if we've just seen the arrival of a new harbinger, something so transgressive that audiences were not able to process it, something that served as the culmination of decades of prior work to create something that nobody could ever have been prepared for, a perverse manifestation of the old stagecraft of theater combined with the digital effects of powerful computer processing and the depraved sexuality of the internet to create something that the world has never seen before. Something it was never prepared for. What I'm talking about, of course, is cats.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off, please. You gotta love to be gone back yet. Love doesn't tell me, don't you grab it.
So I've had a perverse fascination with cats for all my life. When I was a little kid, I always loved waking up early on Saturday morning to watch Saturday morning cartoons, and the one thing I was always assaulted with was the commercial for the Broadway stage show of Cats.
Cats, the #1 family musical in America. Cats, the world's most thrilling theatrical event. Cats, the magic, the mystery, the memory will live forever. Cats, the 7-time Tony Award winner, the once-in-a-lifetime experience, the most exciting family musical. In a word, Cats at the Winter Garden Theater. Call Telecharge 212-239-6200.
I was always extremely confused by it. Cats had a weird distinction of being one of those off-kilter things that just got embraced and accepted by the mainstream. But I mean, come on, look at it. It's a bunch of humanoid cats that are stuck in what appears to be some sort of post-apocalyptic Terminator world as they all come out of destroyed junkyard wreckage as the priest-chief ratty cat king ascends in a flying saucer hubcap towards what appears to be space. It never made sense to me as a kid, and I don't understand how such a weird thing could be shoved down my throat as something that the whole family could enjoy. But I never saw Cats the show. I just wished the commercial didn't keep replaying so I could go back to my goddamn cartoons. It seemed like such a strange and alien thing to try and force upon children during Saturday morning, but as strange as that was, the Cats anti-smoking PSA was probably weirder.
Someone is smoking over there.
Something we cats would never do.
Filling their lungs with thick, dark hair.
What a disgusting thing to do.
Cats have 9 lives with 8 to spare. Humans have 1.
With none to barter.
Why do they smoke?
Why don't they care?
Humans are smart, but cats are smarter. Listen to cats, you men and women. Take care of your lungs. They're only human.
Cats endured for so long, not because it was a great show, but because it was a spectacle that symbolized New York City Broadway tourism. It was a weird concoction of dance and spectacle that was designed to serve as the perfect encapsulation of everything Broadway could offer to people who came from out of town without having to dive deeper during their stay. It was the theatrical equivalent to what modern-day Times Square has become, a bit of a tourist trap designed to rapture anyone who came from outside of town with the splendor and spectacle of the city in a bite-sized consumable form that could easily be digested and repackaged on a VHS cassette to be taken home as a souvenir like an I Love New York t-shirt or a snow globe with the Statue of Liberty. And that's probably why it endured for so long. But no one ever really tried to adapt it into a movie because they knew better. It was a bunch of nonsense songs that were designed to be pleasing to the ear, but they had no weight or substance. It was a literal show about nothing, but Tom Hooper, one of those directors who makes middle-of-the-road films that are always very popular at awards festivals because they are inoffensive art designed to appeal towards Academy voters, thought it was the perfect subject to tackle. A beloved musical that seems to at least give the illusion of a greater universal message, the kind of thing that would be great awards bait. But when you combine the kind of mediocre director who's not very good at directing musicals, who usually has the strength of the material and performers do most of the heavy lifting for him, like in Les Miserables, plus an all-star cast all looking for that sweet, sweet award bait, what could go wrong? Well, everything apparently. I love bad cinema. Nothing delights me more than the failed hubris of so bad it's good cinema. I love showing people Troll 2 in college, and whenever a misguided bomb like Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets arrives, you know I'll be the first in line to go see it. Also, side note, if you went to see Cats in theaters, like I did, then you have to see Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. Just trust me. Drag a friend or two while you're at it. You'll thank me. So to me, with all the bad reviews, Cats was a must-see. What I saw was more than just a regular misguided bad movie. No, what I saw was the culmination of the entire 2000s digital age. It was like every technological advancement was leading up to this singular point. If nothing else, the connection to the internet has only amplified mankind's perverseness. Now all kinds of weird people across the globe with the strangest proclivities and fetishes could gather together, almost creating a singularity. Oh, you think BDSM is edgy and transgressive? Well, have you ever seen a furry orgy in the pale dark of the moonlight? Or how about vor or guru fetish art? What was once seen as transgressive is now considered to be pretty vanilla. The instantaneous connection of everyone into a huge hive mind just seems to collectively accelerate our descent into madness. And now as we enter into a new decade, it seems fitting that the arbiter to herald this new age is a $100 million musical furry fetish film that is likely to serve as the awkward sexual awakening for many an unsuspecting child who gets exposed to it. And Cats is everything. You've got the weird, uncanny valley CGI cat people essentially running around nude so we can see every single digital furry curve of their bodies. It's a film filled with so much sensual, unintentionally erotic detail, as well as high-level performers like Ian McKellen and Judi Dench trying to hold their dignity as they lick milk from bowls or saunter about in a basket. We got something for everyone. You like the curvaceous, big, beautiful woman? Just get a load of all the feminine, feline curves of Rebel Wilson. Do you like vor? The sexual fantasy of being eaten? Well, just get a load of her devouring the human cockroach. Or how about just anyone eating anything? Do you like real fat cats? Do you like feeders? That fantasy of just making someone so fat with food they explode in a huge chunk of lard and diabetes? Then we've got the James Gordon cat, who just devours every piece of scrap from the trash to fill all the folds of his fat digital cat belly. It's a digital buffet of different fetishes and furry eroticism, a visual orgy of pent-up horniness, a cacophony of erect cat tails just ready to get it on as soon as the camera goes away. Like Tom Hooper unknowingly was making a $100 million musical fetish film based on the collective desires of the darkest corners of the Sonic fandom, channeling thousands of weird pieces of art from 4chan, Tumblr, and DeviantArt, synthesizing it with the collection of some of the biggest talent of the decade to form an abomination, an emblem of this new era. As we enter into the new decade and we're greeted with environmental devastation, with wildfires raging across Australia, a potential war with Iran, and an escalation of never-ending tensions in the Middle East, and on the cusp of chaos of a new century, with one of the wildest elections in U.S. history coming just around the corner, leading us forward is Cats. Nothing but cats. Tom Hooper unknowingly has created the best emblem of the past 2 decades to lead us into the next. The Harbinger is here, and just like Igor Stravinsky's Rite of Spring echoed the turn of the century, Cats is the bizarre amalgamation of everything analog and digital combined to herald the chaos of a new century, which is about to kick off into high gear. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosened, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passion and intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand, shaped with a lion body and the head of a man. A gaze blank and pitiless as the sun is moving its slow thighs. But now I know. The 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast its hour come round at last slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. And that is why I loved Cats as the pinnacle of so bad it's good cinema. And as time goes on, and as we forge our way into whatever bizarre things the next age will bring us, just remember, it was Rum Tum Tugger and magical Mr. Mistopheles that showed you the way. Hope you enjoyed this video on Cats. There have been many videos about cats, but I hope this one gave you a unique perspective and you go in to see Cats with an open mind to the beautiful, horrifying masterpiece that it is. So this video was very frustrating to put together. I thought I could use The Rite of Spring because it's a 100-year-old song that's in the public domain, but apparently it's been copyright claimed, so that forced me to change some things around how I edited it. And apparently my original version was too extreme for YouTube since it was demonetized. So I have two versions of this video, the one you've seen right now, but there's also an uncensored, too hot for YouTube director's cut. And if you want to see the director's cut, come to my Patreon. And you can see the Too Hot for YouTube, Too Hot Cats video that I made exclusively on Patreon. So come there, and I also have a few other secret videos I can show you as well. And a special thank you to all the members of the Lobster Pot in the Patreon, Joseph Malty, and newcomer Aaron Tony, who just joined in. These are the two best people who keep me going and keep this channel afloat. So thank you, Aaron Tony and Joseph Malty. You are the super lobster people, the members of the Lobster Pot that keep this happening and allow me the flexibility, create what I want, and put out the uncensored version where I have to tailor myself towards YouTube. I can just release whatever I want to the people on Patreon, and it doesn't matter. So you can see my unfiltered vision. Thanks for watching this video, and as always,
Algorithms! Math!
dictate that you like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And then you gotta hit the bell, and then you gotta hit the double bell to make sure you get notifications. And then there's like maybe a 10 to 15% better chance that you'll actually know when I have a new video posted, because that's how YouTube, you can't just subscribe anymore. You gotta subscribe, then hit the bell, and then hit the bell to enable all notifications, and then you have a slightly better chance. That's just how this works. It's the game we all have to play now. It's not great, or you could just, go to Patreon and you'll hear it right from the horse's mouth. But, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Always love to read them. And remember, never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles. Lobster has antennas, but don't you grab it.